StefTalks Live, um oferecimento Stefanini, co-criando soluções para um futuro melhor.
Estamos aqui no primeiro dia de KickOff da Stefanini e estamos com um keynote muito especial. O Robby é da África do Sul e tem uma história de vida brilhante que realmente faz valer o inimaginável possível. So we have here on our first day of KickOff Stefanini, and we have here one special keynote. He just talked with us for all employees here, and he come back here to talk about his life story, and he challenged you because he make the unthinkable possible. So Rob, tell me about your story, what you make to do the unthinkable possible in your life.
So a lot of it revolves around an accident I had in 2006 where I broke both of my ankles quite badly, and I ended up spending a year of my life in a wheelchair. And through that process, everything fell apart to a point where I thought I had absolutely nothing, to a point where I was on the brink of suicide, and I realized that I needed to make a change. And with everything that had left my life, I had no reason to live. And I figured I couldn't carry on like that, so I decided to climb Mount Everest. You know, no reason to live, so I invented one. And I used Mount Everest as a reason to get out of bed the next morning. You know, give myself a reason and some purpose and build towards a goal. And 928 days after that decision, I stood on top of the mountain.
So when you decided to make your life very, very special after the accident, after everything happened to you?
Well, straight up, all life is special. We all have the ability to go that little bit further. I've learned through everything I've done that we have no idea what our limitations are. To say that my life is special or that I'm special, it's just not true. It just boils down to the decisions we make. And we have the potential to do it.
What's the first thing you're thinking when everything happens?
Wow, when the accident happened, I just realized everything was going to be different. The life that I had planned out for myself was over, and I had to, if I was going to carry on with it, I needed to change because my situation wasn't. And I decided that I would just be, every single morning I had to be just a little bit stronger and a little bit tougher and a little bit more resilient. You can't achieve these things in one giant leap. So I decided I would just do it tiny bits at a time. Yeah.
Nice. And when you decided to tell everyone what happened to you, our story, you always think about that, or is just in the process you think that?
So, processing what happened to me has been, the accident happened 17 years ago, and there isn't a day that goes by where I'm not reminded of it. I still deal with pain in my ankles. I have very stiff Achilles tendons. My motion is quite limited. So I'm reminded constantly, but I also need to realize that things could have been a lot worse and I could still be in the wheelchair. And the unpacking and processing of that is an ongoing battle. And I need to just be grateful for the life that I've got. And I'm proud of myself as well because I built it up from absolutely nothing.
And what is the most difficult thing when you climb the Everest?
Sure, the most difficult thing about Mount Everest is Mount Everest. Everything at altitude is difficult. By the time you reach Everest Base Camp, you are 6,000 meters above sea level. The air is thin, the temperatures drop below zero every single night. Everything is difficult. The body needs to adapt to that altitude before you can even consider moving up to the next camp. Extreme cold, dangers like crevasses, frostbite, all of these things are on your mind all the time. And once again, all you have to do is simplify it and break it down and keep the problem simple. Am I warm enough? Have I had enough to drink? Am I safe from the weather? Am I eating? Can I carry on?
When you make this possible, what the first thing you say to someone, or you say to yourself or in your head? What do you think? What do you say it when you've done everything?
The moment I reached the top of the mountain, the first thing I said was thank you. I was just absolutely grateful. Grateful to the Sherpa, Lakpanuru, who helped me to the top. He was my guardian angel the entire way up. I was just grateful for all the people that had believed in me, the people that, that said, I know you can do it, even at the times when I didn't know I could. I was just overwhelmed with gratitude. I was reduced to tears. It was absolutely amazing. So difficult to explain because I would spend 22 minutes on the top of the world.
Yeah.
All of that
Very
hard
short.
work for 22 minutes.
Yeah.
But the wind was blowing at 60 kilometers an hour, and it was minus 47 degrees. So 22 minutes is very long.
It's it's very long. And the process, you have people to help you in this process, and how is the process for you? And it's hard, and the people help you a lot, and the all process you think I can do this, I will make the unthinkable possible. How you do this? How you think you wake up every day and thinking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to climb this mountain?
Yeah, there are times on the mountain when you think, I'm so far from home, I'm cold, I am tired, what am I doing here? But I think this is anything unthinkable, anything this big. There's a saying, you cannot climb big mountains on your own. And it boils down to the Sherpa team, the support crew, the people behind the scenes, the expedition leaders, the guides, the people, their job is simple, to carry food from A to B. Every single job in that team is critical. They can do everything for you except for one thing, and that's to put your next foot in front of you and take the next step. So when it comes down to teamwork, I mean, it sounds like a cliche, but those sorts of things, every piece of the puzzle is absolutely integral. And I couldn't do it without people behind me saying, you can do it, keep pushing. And also someone there to also say, maybe you've gone too far, time to turn around, to stay safe. Yeah.
And in the process to climb the Everest, what kind of problems you have?
Personally, I had a lot of problems with my feet. In the cold and with all of the hard work, I got a lot of inflammation and swelling in my feet, a lot of pain. I had to take a lot of painkillers at high altitude with dehydration, not having enough to drink. I was at a high risk of my kidneys collapsing. So that was one big problem for me. I was slower than the rest of the team, which means I was out in the cold for longer. It meant that one of the guides was always behind me, which meant they were out in the cold for longer. And with the pain and the difficulty, your motivation can sort of dwindle. It can lessen. And you have to remind yourself constantly why you're here, and you can't give up, and you're there for a reason, and you've got to make it count.
You have contact with these people?
I do.
Today?
I do.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, some of the people on my Everest team, we're still in contact. Very good friends with them. Friends that you make on Everest are friends for life.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. And we climb another mountains. How is your experience with that?
As far as other mountains are concerned, I'm busy finishing the 7 summits, which is the highest mountain on each continent. I always tell people I have 5.9 of the 7 summits complete. I've been to the highest point in North America. I've gotten to the high camp twice, and because of weather, I've had to turn around. If you think about that, it's 2.4 kilometers from the top.
Whoa.
After 3 weeks of living in a tent, walking up a hill.
3 weeks?
3 weeks on the mountain. To climb Everest is 12 weeks.
12
so
weeks.
It's a long process.
You stay there for 12
weeks.
Oh my God, it's a lot of time.
It is a long time because your body has to acclimatize. As you go higher up, there's less oxygen, so your body needs to become acclimatized to that. So it's a slow process. You move to a camp, you come back down to recover, you go up again, you go even higher, you come back to recover. So it's a process.
More harder experience is going to be Everest ever, or you think you're going to more hard experience in another places?
It's such a difficult one because my most recent expedition was to K2, the second highest mountain in the world. And everyone thinks, well, it's not as high as Everest, it must be easier, but it's actually a much more difficult mountain. In terms of access, you have to, the walk to base camp is 120 kilometers over some of the most extreme terrain I've ever crossed. And this time I got ill. I got altitude sickness at 5,000 meters, it hit me completely by surprise. I mean, I've never had altitude sickness before. And this time at 5,000 meters, my lungs filled with liquid and I had to be evacuated by helicopter. And very, very sad. Yeah. you know, because you put a lot of energy, hard work, training, fundraising, all of that, and your body just says no.
Yeah, you plan everything, and that kind of things happen.
Plan
but
as much
it's
as you
the
want.
natural things, you know, it's the weather, it's the things happen.
So many things. Everything has to be perfect. We have a saying, do whatever you want, but the mountain will always have the last word.
Yeah. But you have plans to going in other places?
Absolutely. So I'm hoping to be able to go to Denali, the highest point in North America, for a third attempt, the end of May this year. And I'd like to complete that. And then I need to get to the highest point in Antarctica. Then I'll complete the 7 summits.
But you have plans to go back to Everest or not? It's first time, it's okay.
No, once is enough. But I don't know. It's a very expensive exercise. You're looking at anything up to $90,000 to climb Mount Everest. So it's a massive undertaking. You're away from home for, like I said, 3 months, away from wife, away from my kids. It's not easy. There's so many things that go into it. I would love to climb Everest again, but those sort of factors, you kind of weigh it up. You know, priorities have changed. I was 31 when I climbed Everest, not married, without children, and it was easy to be away from home.
Yeah.
The mountain became my home for that time. Now, from the time I jump on the airplane, I miss my family, and things are just different.
Yeah, you're thinking a lot of things now.
Yeah.
It's not, oh, I'm okay, I'm single, I'm just to climb the Everest.
Yeah.
Now you have family.
A lot of thought goes into it, and I'd like to complete the 7 summits because I started that when I was 22 years old. I was 22 when I climbed Kilimanjaro for the first time, and I would like to close that chapter. And then, who knows, if maybe my daughter wants to climb mountains when she's older, and I'd love to be there behind her every step of the way.
Yeah, I will ask that to you. They thinking to follow the same way like you?
I'll never be one to push her into it. So many parents believe that their children are a second chance at their lives, and I'll never ever do that. If my daughter wants to become a dancer or a horse rider or whatever she wants to do, she has my blessing. But if she wants to climb mountains, I'm there behind her every step of the way.
And you go with her?
Sorry?
You're going with her?
I would love to. She's 4.5, so maybe when she's older, if she decides to. So her middle name is McKinley, which is named after that mountain in Alaska that I need to go back to.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, she has the mountains in her.
Yeah. And what message you want to tell us about to make the unthinkable possible, based in your experience to do that?
I think what's exciting about the world we live in is the unthinkable is being changed every single day. Back in the 50s, they thought that running a mile in 4 minutes was impossible. It was unthinkable. And that was until somebody did it. I was told I was stupid to go to Mount Everest. I will never succeed. I'm signing my own death wish. It was unthinkable, and I got it right. Doing things, changing. They said that, mountains could never be climbed in winter. It's just too cold. It's too brutal. And then someone did it. We make these goals. We have these limits. We have, these ideas of what's possible and what's not. And that is changing all the time because we get to decide what our limits are. And that's the exciting bit. And that's, I think, one of the reasons I get out of bed every morning. We have no idea what we're capable of.
So thank you so much for your time and to talk with us here.
Thank you, Larissa.
And you inspire us a lot because we learn a lot about the making the unthinkable possible, because sometimes we just leave the things doing, but you make us believe in the unthinkable possible. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So thank you guys for watching us and see you soon. Bye.
Este podcast foi oferecido por Stefanini, co-criando soluções para um futuro melhor.